Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win!
Welcome back to Yankee Central, or welcome to Yankee Central if you're a first-time viewer. I'm Dave. I'm the host of Yankee Central, and we're just a startup YouTube channel just talking Yanks and baseball in general. I've been a Yankee fan for a long time. I've seen people come and go. I've seen prospects supposedly that were supposed to be great turn out to not be so, and players that play on the big stage for other teams cannot handle the big stage in New York. With that being said, that's going to segue into this right here. Yankees are calling up #1 prospect Lombard after Volpe's been optioned. Now, I've been a big fan of Volpe since he first came up. I thought he made improvements, but his improvements were not enough. Clearly not enough. I mean, you have your walk rate increase decently enough. I'll give you a rundown of him again. We've gone over this guy's, as much as I liked him, I was frustrated by him. 25 years old, 224 career batting average, 287 on base percentage. You can accept the low batting average if you walk. That's why this 240 and 325 are not so bad. The problem with this season is he's hitting with not much power at all. And that was kind of his calling card. Doubles, some pop in the bat, some home runs a little bit, and some stolen bases. And he was supposed to be consistent on defense. He was for a time, but he seems to regress at times where his head is in the clouds and you get what you get. But anyway, I think his time as the Yankee shortstop is over. Maybe, maybe not. Do I think that we'll never see the end of him? I doubt that. I think he'll be brought back up at some point. Next order of business. Yankees made a pretty good trade. They didn't get everything that they wanted, but I just don't think it was out there. What I mean is I just don't think the matchups were there for them to make a deal. And the reason why I say that is I think a lot of the teams were asking for too much. But anyway, George Lombard Jr. Now keep in mind, he's going to have probably a low batting average, but I think his on-base percentage will still beat Volpe for sure. We'll see. It remains to be seen. Let's get down to the Yankees since that's the one we want to talk about. We got Elliott. There we go. That's why I love Baseball Reference. It will make you look stupid if you don't look at the pronunciation. So Elliott Ramos, pretty good power. Gives us a right-handed bat that we really need since, Judge is questionable. Judge is supposed to be back some point in August, they say, but the very end of August, do we even know? And same thing with Stanton, do we know? And then when they do come back, well, that just creates another set of problems that I'm sure we'll figure it out. And then the other guy we got, obviously, is this dude right here. And what an impact he made. His first game for the Yankees. Setting one out of the park. 2-run blast. This guy plays first base. He can also jump in at second and short, according to them. That remains to be seen. I don't think he's done a lot at those positions. Let's look at down below. Actually, he has. He's played a lot of second base. So if he's adequate enough, they could easily have a situation where Jazz Chisholm sits and he could play second, and what's his name? Rice plays first, and we could have a DH of Goldie, depending on matchups and stuff like that. Or Goldie play first and Rice DH. There's all possibilities. I think they're mostly looking for him at first base. But I think other places could be useful as well. I know his defense was a little bit to the little. We can't talk. His defense wasn't great, and that's why they moved him off. But I think if you plug him in there occasionally at second base, and then as the innings go on, you bring in somebody that can play first, can play second better, just to shore up the defense. You don't want errors in later innings, and he could just switch over to first, and especially if it's a day where Goldschmidt is playing, and it's later in the game, and he's just not doing much. Inject something in the lineup, put him in there at first, bring in Caballero or whoever to play second. There's a lot of possibilities. Some big name trades came down the pike. If you've been living in under a rock or something. So this is a guy the Yankees were looking at, Adley Rutschman. We didn't get Adley Rutschman. The Red Sox did. They apparently did a better job at throwing a package together than the Yankees did, because the Yankees were interested, from what my understanding is. The other one, oh yeah, let's just look at his stats. I do this all the time, and I forget to look at the stats. I'm a stat guy. I love looking at the numbers. And for a guy that they just got rid of, he's still putting up good numbers, even though he's on the injured list right now. But he's been out a couple of weeks, I guess. But you look at his wins above replacement, it's 1.9. So he's already exceeding what he did last season. So last season was probably just a really bad year. So what you can expect is a 2+ win player out of your catching position. Probably average about 3 or 3.5 if he's having a good year or decent, stellar year. But the big trade is, gosh, Los Angeles Dodgers. They got Tarek Skubal from the Tigers, Chris Bubich from the Royals. So they've solidified their rotation even further. I know the Yankees were kind of in the market for him. I don't know why. I think pitching-wise, we're perfectly fine. I know the old adage is you could always use extra pitching. It's true. You can. But I don't think it was necessary. We have a lot of people waiting in the wings to come off injuries, and we really don't need any more people to clog up the depth of our system. So here we go. We got Cam Schlittler, as I keep calling him Schlittler. Ryan Weathers, 2, and then Will Warren, Max Fried. Of course, technically Cole should be 2, but it's based because he was injured. And then we got Will Warren, Max Fried, Carlos Rodon. And then in the minor leagues, waiting is Schmidt. So we've got more than enough depth. Excuse me. One of these guys is going to end up having to go to the bullpen. It's either going to be Will Warren or Ryan Weathers. Originally, I was saying Weathers, but Will Warren went on a hell of a downfall for a while, and I think it's going to end up being Will Warren. He's going to have to be the long man out for a bit, just to finish out the season, I think. But overall, I'm pretty impressed with what we did. There could have been more, obviously, catching help, but also Austin Wells is doing much better. Let's look him up on the stats. Yankees. Well, I wanted to see the goddamn stats, you son of a bitch. Team stats. Affiliated. Used to be so simple. They've really 40 man. Well, at least we can click on it. Oh, active. There we go. That's even better. All right, we've got. Oh, there he is. Austin Wells. 221 at bats, a 167 batting average, and 8 home runs. Now that looks awful. But his last 15 games, he's hitting 257. 3 homers, 5 RBIs. So he seems to be putting it together. He's kind of a streaky guy. So you're looking at him hitting in 74 at bats, 176, 15 at bats, 257. And then the last 7 at bats, 188. Up and down, up and down. I could see that at some point he gets older, he might be able to get more consistency. What I do like about him, even when he's having a crap day, not doing much with the at bats, 30 walks already. So he's dramatically improved his walk rate. Before, he had 30 walks in 126 games, over 400 and something plate appearances. He's doubled that. And he hasn't even equaled the same amount of at-bats or games or any of that. And he's already got a season total from last season. So he's improved in those areas. Now, if he can just get the batting average up, I think coming from, the Yankees standpoint, my standpoint would be Austin Wells, good defender, first foremost, gold glove caliber defended behind the plate guy. If he can give you 220 batting average, 230 batting average with some walks and power and that defense, I think you take that all day long, because he'd be a 4 or 5 win player just defensively with a little bit of better offense, just a little bit. He's got room to improve. He's still got time to go. And I'm glad in a way we didn't get anybody, because, it gives him more chance to come back and maybe put a different end result on the back of his baseball card at the conclusion of the season. Because I wouldn't want a 167 batting average to be the end of one of my seasons. On the back end of a baseball card, it sucks. Turn that over and you see that shit. 220 is respectable. 230 is respectable as far as a backstop. If he can hit home runs and stuff, you take that all day long. The days of like the 90s are over, where the Yankees had pretty good averages all up and down the lineup. The whole core 4 thing of the 90s, that was a rare thing. never to be repeated probably again, at least to that magnitude. I mean, how many championships did those guys get? It was unreal. But anyway, let's go back to Yankees.com because we got a preview, not preview, but no, I don't want tickets. I'm not going all the way out there. Hell no. All right, we got, what the hell's today? We want third, yeah. So yesterday's game, they didn't do too well. But it was nice to have, home run from Wells. We got Grisham, another homer. Cabby got another homer, and Garcia, obviously, I told you about him getting a home run. I'd completely forgotten about Wells. I knew he got another one, I just didn't remember. Schlittler kind of ran into some issues in this game. He's not gonna come out and pitch like a Cy Young Award winner every freaking time out there. He's gonna run into bumps every now and again. He's a young pitcher, and even a veteran pitcher runs into that. So anyway, we lost that game. Tonight's game is going to be Weathers versus Dobbins. And Dobbins is a right-handed pitcher, 2-1, 3.7 something ERA. I don't know how much he has pitched. He might be yeah, he hasn't even pitched a full season yet. So it's really hard to judge what this guy is capable of. But he looks like he can throw a pretty decent amount of strikes because he's only got 11 walks. So it's like 3 walks per 9. Pretty decent, if I say so. That's what he is. We already know what Weathers is. He's left-handed, and St. Louis versus Weathers. Yeah, there's not much of a track record against this guy. 5th, which is Wednesday, tomorrow. It's going to be Pallant and Will Warren. And then, it's too far along to make a big thing about this. I think that's an off day. Yes, I think Friday we have the Braves coming in. And of course, that is to be determined that far out. But anyway, I think that's going to leave it for us today. I hope that's a pretty decent track record, or not track record, a pretty decent rundown of everything going on in the Yankees world. Overall, I was pretty happy with the trade deadline for the Yankees. I'm sure a lot of fans out there, most of the fans, and this is one thing I wanted to say at some point, is the fan base for the Yankees is like the worst at times because they're just so critical of everything. And I make a video like this. I'm critical of the guy. It doesn't mean I'm trying to come off as being negative. I'm a realist. I see what the hell's going on. I've seen it. I don't bullshit anybody. I come tell you exactly the way I feel at that point. My opinion could change a week from now. You never know. But at that moment, that's the way I felt about it, and that's just the way it is. But anyway, with that being said, what the hell is this? Oh, I lost my thingamajig. But anyway, guys, with that being said, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're trying to build this up. I don't know if it's going to go anywhere. Don't know if it's ever going to take off, but we're dabbling with it. Gets us out of trouble for a little bit anyway. With that being said, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win! The Yankees win!